Hello again, everyone. Let's take a look at practice test number 5, measurements and things of that nature. Now, we've already kind of gone there in one sense or another. The best way to deal with the measurements and get answers related to them, valid answers when you're making conversions to get answers, is to kind of look at what each measurement is equal to in relation to the other. So for this right here, we're looking at, for practice test number 5, whatever they tell you tells you the conversion, in a sense. If I say to you, 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, that means you can go 1 foot for every 12 inches, or 12 inches for every 1 foot. And in both instances, they're equal to each other. I mean, well, they don't look like it. Here's a 1 here and a 12 underneath. Here's a 12 on top and a 1 underneath. But it's the same thing as saying, I guess you could say 100 cents related to $1, or $1 related to 100 cents. Equivalent. If I want to get an answer in terms of feet, I'll use this ratio. If I want an answer in terms of inches, I'll use that ratio. So on and so forth. They say to you 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. 1 kilometer for every 1,000 meters, or for every 1,000 meters, there's 1 kilometer. They're basically equal to each other. The interesting thing is, you can say they're equal to each other, and they're equal to 1. Because this and this are equal. They just told us they're equal right here. They don't look like they are, but they are. I mean, at least 1 is not equal to 12, but 12 inches, each inch is 12 times smaller than a foot. So you need 12 times more of them. You need 12 times the number of inches to get the foot. This is equal. If two things are equal and you divide by the same thing on each side, either one, you get 1 as an A. Divide by 1 foot on each side, you get 1 equals. Divide by 1 foot on each side, you get 1 equals this, or divide by 12 inches on each side, you get 1 equals this. So it's a special kind of 1 in a sense. And that's all that gets played here. Again, we went into this when we talked about perimeter and length, and when we talked about talked about it in regard to perimeter and length. We talked about it in regard to area. We talked about it in regard to volume. If I were to say to you that, I don't know how to say that. I mean, I guess we could say that 1 cubic foot is 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches. Oh man, we've gone down this path before, right? It came out to 1,728 cubic inches. Well, you need a lot of the cubic inches. Why? Because every cubic inch is 1,728 times smaller than a cubic foot. So you need 1,728 of them to give you a cubic foot. If you divide by feet squared on each side, you get this. If you divide by 1,728 inches cubed on each side, you get this. They're actually equal to each other, and they're all equal to 1, like I just said. If I want to do a conversion and get inches cubed at the end of the answer, I'm going to use this one. If I want to do some kind of conversion and I want to get, because I'm going to cancel the feet squared and have the top thing remaining. Here I'm going to cancel the bottom thing, just like in this case you'd cancel the bottom thing. So you'd multiply by feet cubed on, you'd multiply by feet cubed, they cancel, you got inches cubed. Here you multiply by inches cubed and you got feet cubed on each side. In other words, whatever you want as a final answer, you put it on top. They are equal to each other, and they are equal to a special 1, in a sense. Okay. So they're asking us to fill in the blanks a little bit when we're doing this. Let's take a look at it. Number one, they're saying fill in the blanks. 9 feet is how many inches, and 3 yards is how many feet. So we got 3 yards is equal to how many feet, and 9 feet is equal to how many inches? Well, each foot has 12 inches to it. 12 inches for every 1 foot. Go 12 inches over 1 foot. The feet cancel. So there's 12 inches in each one of these. 9 times 12 is 108. Yards, how many feet? We know that every yard has 3 feet. 3 times 3 is 9. Similar argument is what I've done in the past. A little more abbreviated version of doing it. You use your judgment on this. Again, the sheet that is scrolling at the end, all the sheets that are scrolling at the end of all these videos have the actual document there. So sometimes I'm not writing the entire document on there because it's already at your disposal when you're looking at it. Let's see what we got here. Question 2 of 10. So let's see what we got here. Question 2 of 10. A volcano on a recently discovered planet rises to a height of 61,216.226 feet. Use the table of facts to find the height of the volcano in miles. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. Okay. Well, we know that 1 mile, every 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So you're going to have the conversion. You're going to have this, or you're going to have this. And you play the game from there. Well, okay, they're saying that the volcano, a volcano on a recently discovered planet rises to a height of this much. So we got 61,000, which is amazing, which is 2 or 3 times the height of Everest. In its own right, it's rather fascinating. You got this, and I want to get miles as an answer. Well, I'll put miles on top. Don't read too much into this, guys. It shouldn't be too bad. So we got this, we got this. We are going to get 5,280 into 61,216.226. So what we have here, $61,216. Yeah, it's obviously very high. About twice, I think about twice as high as Everest, basically. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. I've got 11.5939. 11.59 rounds to 11.6. So we've got this. That's something else, guys. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. Okay, not bad. Let's keep going. A construction worker, number 3 now, guys. Number 3, a construction worker is building a wall. The wall is 20 yards long. He needs to place a stud every 16 inches. The first stud has already been placed at one end of the wall. How many additional studs are needed if the last stud will be placed at the other end of the wall? First, fill in the blanks on the left-hand side of the equation using 3 ratios here. Okay, this is a little more, perhaps a little more confusing than helpful, but okay. Let's see what they're trying to say here. How are they going to do it? There's some things given to us. They already placed one. I'm not entirely confident with the question, to be honest with you. Okay, let's see what they're trying to say here. Person's talking about 20 yards. Covering distance, 20 yards. There are 3 feet for every 1 yard. There are 12 inches for every 1 foot. There's 1 stud every 16 inches. So okay, I mean, I don't know that I would have gone about it this way. What I would have probably, here's probably what I would have done. It's the same answer, I guess. We're talking about 20 yards. It's a little interesting of a question here. Now, I don't know how they're going to answer this in the answer key. And we're not going to make a real big deal out of it, but let's talk a little bit. I would, since there's 1 stud already put in, we're going to add that at the end. That's my instinct on that. They might have done that. They might not have. We'll see what they did. I'll look at it right now as we're doing it. But if there's 20 yards, you guys, maybe an easier way to do it. If there's 20 yards to cover, every yard has 3 feet. Every foot has 12 inches. Every yard has 3 feet. Every foot has 12 inches. I'll tell you what. Every yard, 3 feet, 12 inches per foot, 36 inches in every yard. There's 20 yards, 36 inches in every yard. 20 times 36 is 720 inches. With 720 inches, every time there's 16 inches, you're putting a stud in. So go 16 inches per stud, and I'll tell you how many studs there are. I'm looking at it, and I can tell you, you know, let us indeed look at it. 180, 45. I think it goes in 45 times. 45 studs. Yes, that's not counting the first one that they put in. So put another one in to get 46. Going along those lines, you guys. I don't know. You got me how this question even got asked, but it's a great question. But I don't know how many additional. Okay, well, actually, that's my fault. They did ask a very good question here. How many additional studs are needed if the last stud will be placed at the other end of the wall? How many additional studs? You'll need a total of 45 plus 1, 46 studs. But if there's already one in there, a total of 46 studs, one of the 46 is already in there, so you need 45. This would be probably the way to go. This right here would get you there as well. That's the crazy thing about it. You go here, that's 60. You go here, go here, that's 60, that's 720. 720 divided by 16, jackpot. You got it. So, pretty interesting how that worked out. 4 of 10. A flower bed is in the shape of a rectangle. It measures 8 yards long and 3 yards wide. Aldo wants to use mulch to cover the flower bed. The mulch is sold by the square foot. Use the facts to find the area of the flower bed in square feet. That's not going to be an issue. If it is 8 yards by 3 yards for the area, you're going to get the same area if every yard has 3 feet, which it does. 3 feet times 8 is 24 feet. And 3 feet times 3 here is 9 feet. And that's it. It's about as easy as it gets, guys, when you're going to do something like that. I'm looking at this. It would be 9 less than 225. So it would be 216 feet squared. So that's it. Let me just check, guys. I want to, I'm not always trusting myself on some of these. Yeah, 216 feet squared. 216 feet squared, looking good to me, guys. 5. Over a 2-hour time period, a snail moved 108 inches. How far is this in yards? How far is that in yards, huh? Well, I'll tell you what, every yard is 3 feet. Every foot is 12 inches. 3 feet, each foot 12 inches. 3 times 12 is 36. We know that a yard is 36 inches. We can make up our own conversion table at that point. And you got this thing 108 inches. Jump to this, cut to the chase. At the end of the day, that's 3 yards. This goes into here 3 times. Three yards it is. Six of 10. Number 6. Question 10. Forgive me. Question 6 of 10. Question 6. It is 9 kilometers from Christine's house to the nearest mailbox. Use the facts to find how far this is in meters. Not a bad situation. So what you got here, is this. Every kilometer is 1,000 meters. Kilo is from the Greek word helia, which means 1,000. Every kilometer is one group of 1,000 meters. You can use this, 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters, or you can use this, 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer. Well, got to be careful how you use the stuff. You want the answer. We want to know how far this is in meters. So we're going to have to use the bottom one there. She's got a 9-kilometer walk. Every kilometer, forgive me, is 1,000 meters. I wrote this horribly. Sorry about that. Every kilometer is 1,000 meters. And not only did I write it horribly, I wrote it down wrong as well, guys. Okay, please ignore that. Ignore that, please. This stuff's easier done than said. You try to explain it, you mess it up. Okay. We got 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters, guys. So let's make this probably a lot more reasonable. Maybe I'm overthinking this. 9 kilometers, and there are 1,000 meters. There we go. 1,000 meters for every 1 kilometer. 9 times 1,000. That's 9,000 meters. 9,000 meters, guys. So there we go. Looking pretty good. So that's 6. Let's move on. Okay, guys, for number 7, they talk about hectometers, decimeters, and the like. This is of interest. Basically, a hectometer is a group of 100 meters. So 1 hectometer is 100 meters. So these ratios are in play depending upon what you're doing. A decimeter is very small. A decimeter is 1/10 of a meter. So 10 decimeters equals 1 meter. So the ratio of this works and the ratio of this works, and it depends how you want to use it. There's a way you could use either one actually for any problem. Sometimes you would do division rather than multiplication. Other times you do multiplication rather than division. But you can use either ratio. The big thing is they are here and we can do it. And we know how to do it. We know how to play the game. Convert 0.3 hectometers to meters. 0.3 hectometers to meters. Well, it's 100 meters for every 1 hectometer. $30 meters. Convert 2 decimeters to meters. 2 decimeters. 0.2 meters. And there you are. Looks pretty good. 8. Goran sold 400 liters of soda at a baseball game. Use the facts to find out how much this is in milliliters. Well, 1 liter, they write it like this, and in your notes here, they use a capital L. I've seen different ways written, I believe, but they got a capital L here. I use the small l, but it means the same thing. 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. Well, you can use the 1 liter over 1,000 milliliters, or you can use 1,000 milliliters over 1 liter. Okay. 2 sides of the same coin, folks. They want to know, how many milliliters did he sell? Well, milliliters are pretty small, so it's going to be a number bigger than 400. It's going to be 1,000 milliliters every time you got a liter. Every time you got a liter, you got this. This is 400,000. $400,000. milliliters. Okay, that was 8. 8 of 10. Let's do 9 and 10. A boy weighs 31.5 kilograms. How much does he weigh in pounds? Use the conversion. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. Okay, sounds good. Every 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. They wrote it pounds. I'm using more of the Latin expression for it. Not a big deal either way. The big thing is, here's 1 kilogram, here's 2.2 pounds, or here's 2.2 pounds, and here's 1 kilogram. Same argument, 2 sides of the same coin. To convert it, we want to get pounds at the end. 2.2 pounds, or lb, libra for pounds, for every 1 kilogram, the child has a body weight of 31.5 kilograms. Put a 1 there, I didn't really need to, but 31.5 kilograms. And let's grind it out. Let's see what happens. Well, the kilograms go. You want pounds, so you put the pounds on top because you want pounds. That's 63. 69.3, I think. Let's make sure it's there. Make sure it's there. Yeah, 69.3 pounds. Yeah, fine. That was how that played out. Okay, so let's number these out. Forgive me here. This right here, when Goran was selling soda, that's 8. This is 9. And this is 10. As Jupiter revolves around the sun, it travels at a rate of approximately 8 miles per second. That is remarkable in its own right, and very true, I'm sure. As Jupiter revolves around the sun, it travels at a rate of approximately 8 miles per second. Convert this rate to miles per minute. At this rate, how many miles will Jupiter travel in 2 minutes? Do not round your answers. Well, let's get this thing to miles per minute. That's in seconds. So what you can play, the way you can play the game on this one is, you've got a remarkable speed of 8 miles every second. We know that there are 60 seconds in every mile. Forgive me, there are 60 seconds in every minute, rather, I'm sorry. We want minutes on the bottom. Those cancel. 8 times this, 480 miles per minute. That's the speed that way. At this rate, how many miles, convert this to miles per minute. Okay, we just did. How far will it go in 2 minutes? That's pretty basic. At that point, you got 480 miles for every 1 minute, and you're going to travel for 2 minutes. Nine hundred sixty miles. Okay, so all the conversions are there. That's problems 1 through 10 for practice test number 5. Problems 1 through 10 for practice test number 5. So, okay, let's keep moving. We got 2 more practice tests to do. 2 more practice tests to do. Let's get them done.